Hi everyone, welcome to PTZOptics and HuddleCam HD Live. My name's Tess Protesto. We are live on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, bringing you the latest and greatest in video communications technology. We have a really exciting topic today, something a little offbeat from what we normally do, so I'm very excited for this one. We have joining us today fitness expert, trainer, and WWE wrestler Stevie Richards of Stevie Richards Fitness. We're going to talk about fitness live streaming video production for fitness classes. Can't wait to dive into that in a moment. We also want to give you guys a couple other updates. Again, we are live weekly now. Brand new year, brand new schedule. Live Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. We have a very exciting event coming up, Worship Summit Live for all of our House of Worship audience members. We're going to be bringing you technology training for houses of worship. It is a free virtual event on February 11th. You can head to worshipsummit.live to register for that. A couple other exciting tidbits here for you. We have another video series coming out soon, the third Friday. It is the third Friday of the month, right, Michael? Third Friday of the month, we're releasing Tech Town Hall videos where we are going to be talking from our experts here at PTZOptics and HuddleCam HD about trending technology that we have, new technology, and answering your questions in the chat regarding such. So we're really excited to get that started. Finally, another show that we have, Salt Talk, Sound and Lighting Technologies. This one's for houses of worship, dedicated to our worship audience and supporting them in their learning and streaming journey. So make sure you catch that the last Tuesday of every month. We have so many shows and events now. I'm like getting them all mixed up. Got to get my act together here at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's it for me. It's time for me to introduce my co-host and our very special guest today. As we always have, Miss Lindsay Pope.
Hello.
How you doing, Lindsay?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, of course.
And Stephen Haywood, our evangelist and broadcast engineer. Hey, Stephen.
Hey, Tess, how's it going?
It's going great. I'm excited. Thank you for
Yeah.
making this introduction, for us today to Stevie.
It's going to be a fun show. He's got a lot of knowledge in fitness, so I'm excited to hear what he has to say.
All right, let's bring him on. Hey, Stevie, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I just want to say, first off, this can be served to a lot of your viewers out there as the before, but you're an expert at live streaming, and then the after, you got to invite me back for part two when I actually have the gym set up, have the cameras, have proper audio, all that stuff. So don't let's just, and I'm not an expert at anything. That's a lot of pressure to say I'm an expert. It's just, I'm just a guy with a home gym.
You do have a lot of experience with video and fitness, and I can vouch for that myself because I've been checking out all your content. So I think you got to give yourself a little more credit.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who's checked out the content and the people we have a pretty loyal audience. So I'm really grateful for that and feel very blessed. But really what it all came from is just Stephen knows me from my tech days. I used to be a tech reviewer, and that built the foundation to be able to edit video, deliver video, build websites, do all the stuff that I can kind of be a one-man show with. Mm-hmm. But it was really just turning on a camera, hitting record, and then just doing exactly what I do every day and what I'm passionate about. And that's really what I think live streaming or recorded content or a mixture of both has to be. You really have to just take what you naturally love every day and never get tired of, and never will get tired of, and create content with it.
That's a great message. How did you turn to video for your fitness training and health? And you went from the entertainment industry to really taking the initiative and informing people on your own. How did that accumulate?
Well, when I was 19 and I was too young to know any better, they forced me to be on camera and get comfortable on camera before I could even realize how scary it was. So being on camera it's a weird thing because I'm very much an introvert. That's why I have a home gym. I'm very much somebody that likes to keep to myself. I have a wife and family and stuff. But outside of that, I've never been comfortable around people. But when I'm able to deliver a message and get over that shyness and everything, or do something that can create a moment like I did hopefully a lot in wrestling, I overcome it. It's a weird thing. It's a strange pressure, and you guys probably feel it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like right up until that countdown is 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You kind of forget everything for half a second, and then when the red light comes on, you kind of settle into it. So I'm still not comfortable being on camera even to this day, but it's kind of cool to be able to overcome that each and every time I make something.
Yeah, I bet. And a lot of our audience members who are watching are either setting up studios for other people or doing live streaming for other people, or they're, especially for this show, maybe people who are interested in taking whatever their talent or business is and bringing it live or putting video content out there regarding whatever the subject or business is that they do. What is the benefit for you having done that when it comes to fitness?
Well, it had a lot of mistakes and failures. It's the only way you're going to grow anything is just to try. Just hit record, hit live stream, and try your best to organize it in a way that people can understand and relate to. What came to me was that it went from the Stevie Richards Fitness Resistance Band programs was kind of the people's, I guess, the gateway into my fitness stuff, and then seeing the reviews from an honest, objective perspective, and then be able to build that credibility of being an information source to convert affiliate models, because I have affiliate links for companies like Force USA,
Mm-hmm.
Diamondback Fitness, Power Block Dumbbells, and other companies that I've grown with the business end of the relationship. So the people I think that already have a business and they already have, say, a business model and a business plan, all which I still don't have. There's, they have a step up or a leg up on me because they're able to use the tools now when they already have the vision in place.
Right. And you mentioned that you started off doing tech reviews, and that's how you met Steven. Maybe we should bring Steven on for a minute. And I want to hear a little bit about where your interest in technology and fitness came together, and how did you end up doing tech reviews in the first place with Steven, let alone?
Well, just like we're finding each other on this show through Steven, Steven and I found each other through the fact that we like, I can't even remember, but we probably like the same tech podcasts and other things. I started listening to him. He probably started seeing some of the stuff I was doing. And then it was just a symbiotic type thing where I started being, a guest on his show when he had the tech buzz. And then I'm a big video game nerd too. So when he had the retro buzz with video game cabinets and retro games, that was another way where we could come back together. Um, but what it was technology and fitness, even wrestling to some degree. The reason why I was in wrestling for almost 30 years, the reason why I love working out more than I did even at a young age,
Mm-hmm.
and even technology, is the fact that those three things in my world, in my life, are always changing and can never get boring. So there's always an evolution. There's always a lateral movement. There's always a different camera, a different microphone, a different audio interface, or in this case, where I'm talking to you guys, a different delivery method, whether it be live or recorded. It just never gets boring. And I think Steven's the same way with the tech stuff. I mean, his setup just far exceeds anything I could ever hope for. I couldn't even afford the electric bill. I have to go back to wrestling.
I remember I was working for another company at the time, and you were having issues with your broadcasting software. And I remember we got on a Skype call, and that's how we got going. And you told me about the T4 show, and I don't know if you remember that, but we were trying to get through Wirecast, and you were like, "This is just not for me."
I thought that's a great message. I do remember it now. That's I might have CT. Who knows? but
But you like it
but
simple. You like to be able to just do simple things to get your message across.
Yeah, what are you
well, here's the great
using?
thing. Well, but right now I'm not using the Rode Broadcaster. I'm not using the Rodecaster Pro. I'm not using any of that stuff. I even have a cool headset, like you have, Tess. But it's amazing the evolution. Like at least in my age group, I'm 50 years old. We went from ordering these unlocked phones from overseas, from Europe and everything, where they weren't available in the U.S. Then the iPhone came out, and then you go with this super expensive setup trying to make, a cool setup. But then how technology has evolved where it is really, you can keep it very simple, just like with fitness. I had a huge gym space with a ton of products, but now I'm at the phase where I'm kind of narrowing it down into like the top 3, 4, or 5 brands and items that I always like to use.
Mm-hmm.
And also from a business perspective, that simplifies it for the audience. So, and obviously with technology, when you have more complicated setups or you don't have a workflow that you can really get through very quickly, that's where live streaming is great because it requires little to no editing. So the product, the show, or whatever you want to deliver goes out right afterwards in perpetuity. So that's the cool thing about at least live streaming to me.
Yeah, there is definitely that time saving factor with live streaming. Julia's
Now the
commenting.
pre-production, the pre-production is something else. You make up for it on that. There's Julia. Nice.
You
Yeah, we're Philly
definitely
proud.
do. So you're from Philly?
I'm from Philly for real. Now Julia, I think, is from outside Philly, and there's a special thing
Me
like
too.
you say you're from Philly, and then I go, "Are you from Philly?" Well, King of Prussia. Okay, you're not from Philly.
That's me.
Sorry.
I'm from Delco. So not quite
Oh,
Philadelphia, but
right over the bridge, right? Right down 168.
off of 95.
Oh, okay. Well, there's one right off 68 over the wall, Woodman, and you drive down there that road to get to 42. I'm sure the
So
tech
you're
people are
familiar with
really
the area.
enthralled with this conversation. I'm sure they're
We had to bring it up.
excited.
That's where we're from. So
Exactly. But I like Florida a lot better.
do you?
Seems to be
Okay.
good.
Is that how you and,
Yeah, well,
Steven met, being from this area?
no, actually, he was across the state. He was all the way across the state.
It was
Another
all
beautiful thing
virtual.
about the internet and social media is sometimes it has such a bad stigma. But when two longtime friends like myself and Steven come together, and hopefully the relationship will build with your brand in mind moving forward, that's all social media. That's all technology and the internet. There is some good. Doesn't seem like it today. There is some good that comes out of that. So I appreciate those relationships over the years.
Tess, I gotta say, this guy when he travels, like he was over at my house this summer, and he had a signing he had to do. He doesn't like most people look at hotels and see the ratings. This guy looks at a hotel and finds where's the closest gym and
Uh,
how good is that gym. He's not even worried about the hotel. It's like what kind of gym am I going to get with where I'm at.
Yeah. I mean, some of them don't even have beds. I just sleep on the bench in the gym, so that's a perk for me.
if the gym's
But
good, you're good with it.
well, the thing is, working out and fitness, much like technology too, and creating something that you're very proud of is a mental and emotional and a spirit, almost a spiritual
Hmm.
type of fulfillment. When I'm able to work out first thing in the morning, I can set myself up to produce video content, to edit, to be able to do good copy, to be able to see something on my website that I didn't see yesterday. It puts me in the right frame of mind. And also I feel like I accomplished something first thing in the day. So that's why I always say if you work out, you can never have a bad day because you got your workout in. So at least you got that going for you.
I like that. I should use that. Michael, why don't we grab that video clip and let's take a look at Stevie's current setup, and you can give us a little bit of explanation on what your setup is right now, and then what your future plans are from a gym and studio perspective.
Do you want the realistic one or what I have in my mind?
Well, maybe we can help you make your dreams
Okay.
come true.
Hall and Oates, Philly people. There you go.
So, what are we looking at here?
All right, this is all my wife's doing. This is where we converted the entire apartment into a home gym. This is the living room right here. We
Wow.
converted this and the sunroom, even parts of the bedroom had an infrared sauna in it. So it was very much her idea to take our business to the next level. We have the Power Block dumbbells over here, both versions. That's the Force USA Monster G6. And then this is the current setup, which is a little bit more bare. This is the Nordic Track Vault that I'm reviewing right now. And I actually have the Tempo Studio as well. So I'm going to do a comparison between those. Now, the setup that you've seen here with this is the second bedroom behind me when we come back to me after this. And this is going to be the smart connected fitness home gym area, which is probably going to be where we're going to try to live stream come from because we have an internet connection, but it's going to be the clean gym. And in the next story, I think after this one, you're going to see the garage gym, which is the old school dirty gym. So basically the gym you see here is my wife's gym, and the dirty gym that's cold right now is the one I'm going to work out in. So
that's where you get put.
That's the Philly blood that I have that'll make me do the Rocky training montage in the garage gym. But Tempo Studio already, I'm very, very impressed with this piece of equipment. There's the garage gym. Before we moved in, now it has a Squat Max MD in it. By the way, another Philly guy, Brian Hennessy, used to play for the Eagles, invented the Squat Max. And the thing behind me, you see that wall with the little raised lip on it?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be where the all-in-one trainer goes. I have to pick which one I need to get for review there, but that's going to be an all-in-one trainer. Going to put maybe some football turf down or some artificial turf to make it look like kind of like an athletic facility a little bit more than just a garage. So
wow,
it's nowhere near done. I think it's just like you're looking at your tech setup and your live streaming setup.
mm-hmm.
It's never done, right? So a home gym and a garage gym, once you realize that it's never done, your life will be just surrender. Your life will be a lot easier. Just like the worship streams say, just surrender. That's all you got to do, and just go on the path you're supposed to go on and enjoy it.
It's very true. In that video that you were recording with the empty gym, what was the purpose of that? Are you taking your audience on that journey with you of building that gym?
Yeah, I think a lot of what we see, and I've looked at some of your videos where you guys talk about, certain tutorials or things that you might need to work around and things like that. I think a lot of people on social media, the internet, and YouTube don't show the journey, don't show the mistakes. And I think that's one thing with my brand is, when I do my reviews, I don't always have the greatest form when I'm working out. I may like get winded. Things
mm-hmm.
happen. I don't want to be perfect. And unfortunately, with fitness especially, there's way too much of filters on what everybody has instead of what's real with that. But yeah, I mean, I showed a journey with them in YouTube shorts, and also that kind of thing with a 1-minute video of just showing the space has been one of my more popular videos to just shot with an iPhone. It's kind of weird how the stuff you don't guess would gain traction really does.
It's
I've got
true.
more questions, Tess. I've got more questions, Tess, about the updates on that garage gym space in the comments on that YouTube short
mm-hmm.
than anything else lately.
I can certainly vouch for that from the live streaming industry. People appreciate the mistakes because there's an element of like humanizing yourself when you share your journey from the ground up, the little mistakes that we make. People really do relate to that. So I think it's definitely important when you're building a community to consider that.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to see through you one way or the other, so you might as well be genuine. Your real personalities we probably see all over the media and everything else. The real person eventually comes out, so you might as well just be genuine from day one and not try to hide anything.
Yeah, that's what I tell my bosses around here. Just they want to see the real me, so just ignore the quirkiness.
Well, everybody in technology and fitness is crazy. Everybody in wrestling is crazy. So just embrace it.
Fair enough. I noticed that you were talking about reviewing technologies, and that futuristic gym exercising piece of equipment. Has growing your channel, your YouTube channel, which I see is quite large in terms of following, allowed you opportunities to work with some of those organizations in like a sponsorship level?
I'm going to tell you, yeah, it absolutely has. But it's kind of funny that some people take say, for example, Fight Camp is one of the affiliates that have been the most responsive to everything I've done over the past few months. They've been great about answering, and they're a big brand. They got Paige Hathaway and all these big influencers, they could be like, we don't have time to talk to this guy, but they've been one of the more supportive. Force USA and Diamondback Fitness and Power Block have been long-standing brands I've worked with. But the point is, Fight Camp did not. I requested a review unit like 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they said no. I don't even think they answered. I'll be honest with you. Then about a year and a half later, about 6 months ago or so, they've reached out to me. And they said, we want to send you the bag and we want you to try the software. We value your opinion. Now, what people do, and this is what I always say about it in wrestling especially, it's not no, it's just not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Too many people give up and they take no for an answer. Doesn't mean you need to be a jerk, and fight with them about it. But you have to sometimes go back and say, it's just not my time yet. It's not time for this relationship to build. And Fight Camp reminded me of that. And also at the same time, a lot of times influencers or reviewers or people that want to work with brands, and I learned this from wrestling as well. You don't go into a promoter, you don't go into a situation or a company and demand them do A, B, and C for you. When you approach a company or a brand or a promotion or anybody, or even when I'm talking to you guys, when I was talking to Julia, our conversation was hopefully me saying to her, hey, if we decide to work together and collaborate, what can I provide in content for your company? What can I do for you? And that's how Nordic Track, Tempo Studio, Fight Camp, and all the other brands that I've worked with over the past years of converting from a tech to a fitness channel. When I say, what can I do? Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to give you a glowing review or give me something for free and I'm just going to say all nice things. It just means you're going to send me something of value to you. I'm going to give you some value back with content. Now, it's going to be an honest review. And if you believe in your product, you'll send it out. And more times than not, if you see from all the videos, lots of companies do believe in their product and lots of companies do send stuff out. And that really makes me feel good because there's a very genuine relationship from the beginning where nobody has any kind of false expectations with that. So, and I don't even know by this point if I even answered your question. I'm sorry.
No, definitely. And it's interesting to hear about the growth of interest or the growth of connection between the influencer spectrum and live video, because we're so used to people making review videos, but live streaming companies accessing influencers for live content is something that we're seeing become more and more popular. So relationships like we're looking into right now.
Well, I'll give you an interesting, and this is me actually here. I can ask you for advice right here and now, since you're the stream geeks.
Steven, stay on deck.
That's my. Did you hear my Philly accent come out when I said stream geeks?
Yes, I can hear it for sure.
Like this drink of water, that kind of thing, right?
That's another one.
Yeah. So here's my thought process with the reviews of 2022, because I'm always looking to do different stuff. Like I said, if I fail at it, if nobody cares, or it bombs, whatever, I tried. My wife is a voiceover actor, so we have the Sennheiser 416. We built her like a booth in the closet, so that way we can deaden all the sound, and it can sound a lot better than what we have right here. But I thought about doing certain type of produced videos where I'm telling a story like a documentary and I'm voicing it over as I'm doing B-roll, as I'm able to shoot slow-mo, as I'm able to get more cinematic shots. And that's where, when Stephen, Julie, and I were talking, I got the idea of kind of two different categories of reviews. That really cool one where I can be creatively fulfilled on the editing front, but then the live streaming is the more organic reviews, kind of replacing the ones we have up here right now that are 20, 30, 40 minutes long, where you see everything from the beginning to end in the process of using the equipment. What do you think about that? You can tell me if it sucks. It's okay.
No, we're definitely, we typically build out like a series of content like that where there's more shorter form content, more longer form, and different distribution methods. So that's totally on point for what's like typically done, I suppose. Stephen, if I could bring you on, maybe we could talk a little bit about gear And potentially, especially for our viewers there who want to work with fitness studios or fitness experts or influencers, what kind of, let's say, cameras, of course, because that's what we sell, would be recommended, would be desired if we were to work in that space?
Yeah, so I know with the Simple Track 2 that we have, I was talking with Stevie about that because, uh, Stevie, you
He
walk
wants so
around.
bad. He wants so bad to call me by my real name, Michael. It's okay if he's
I
bumming
do.
out.
He'll tell you that like I can't do it. I should just say Michael. I'm sorry, but I was trying to keep it with everything here. But you're showing off and reviewing like the NordiTrack and some of these other options that you have in your studio. One of the biggest things, if your wife is voicing things over, you don't have a camera operator. That's one of the biggest struggles content creators have. So with having something like the Simple Track uh, at your disposal, it's moving with you. You're able to show different parts of the gym equipment and to your viewers either live or if you're using it in post content. I think that is something that's huge for that space. Or if you're doing certain exercises, um, when you're down on the mat, it'll follow you down. I think those are great options for folks because you already have an over the ear microphone, right? I think you said that earlier.
Yeah, I got a couple from Rode and I got one from Saramonic, and then I just used the Rode Wireless Go 2. I got a good setup with that, and actually that was the part I'm moving to Florida. The beach workouts are also another category with the that the brands are very excited for. Now, when these people see this maniac with a hand truck and a punching bag going down the ramp onto the beach, I don't know what'll happen there, but it's going to happen either way. So,
So we gotta spec out your mobile rig to make it to where like kind of like my mobile rig, you show up, plug it in, or in your case it'd be battery operated, and it just works. There's no fiddling around with it, right?
yeah, I really would like to have the simplest setup possible. And if you hear about Stevie Richards arrested at Flagler Beach with a hand truck, then you know I was trying to film the fight camp video.
Oh, great. We can be part of it. Have our logo all over it. Sponsored by PTZ Optics.
PTZ Optics
Arrested on the
bails me
beach.
out. That'd be great.
No permit. That's hilarious. Um, well, this has been really interesting so far. I want to talk about your future plans. We know that you've been doing recorded content. We know that you're looking into live streaming. How would you use live streaming? Would it be for like paywalled classes or for like open community events? What are your plans? Future plans?
I'm not exactly sure. I've really have that's the part that if you do it wrong, the financial part, the income model part, if you do that wrong,
Hmm.
and you set up too much stuff for too many hoops to jump through, and also money, it's very tight for everybody, especially these days. I still believe the affiliate model is the best source uh, of income from right now because I can create as many streams as I want to
Hmm.
give people choices. And because they're brands and products and lineups of products, I can basically, and even on the tech front, I have a section in my description what gear I use, which takes you to Amazon or B&H Photo. So there is the affiliate stream of income. And Tess and Stephen, you can, give me some feedback on that too. To me, that's always been the easiest sell for people because it's coming from I still can be an objective information source. I'm not really competing with the Tony Hordens and the other people of the world,
Right?
or say who are the other people? Pop Sugar. There's a couple others that work out on the beach. Then there's Brian Kest with the yoga. There's lots of what I consider to be real experts in their niche that they can they can deliver on the price that they're charging. Um, Now, just a little side note, Stephen knows that I love broadcasting too. I love radio. I love
Yeah.
getting involved with that. So there was another part of me because I may have a deal with radio.co to have an internet radio station. If I can put that simple track 2 or even some live streaming elements on video with a radio show, that's also a very professional look. And now there's another way to say forceusa.com Stevie has a more, I think, professional type of pitch to it, or I can pre-record these as you're seeing the video of me taking notes, looking at stuff for the next segment, kind of that voyeuristic look into the live radio show type thing. So the possibilities are endless for, say, paywall stuff. For example, I feel like Squarespace, in my opinion, I don't know if they're a competitor, I'm sorry. Uh, Squarespace is the easiest way to set up 3-tiered subscription plans. And I don't have an affiliate with them or anything, but I had my fitness business um, up and running through the website in under 40 minutes, taking payments, doing all that stuff, and now being able to create a paywall. Um, that's a very fascinating thing in the future. Um, Long story short, how's this? I don't know. That's my plans. I'm sorry. This is why they never gave me a live mic in wrestling, because I just, I don't stick. I don't stick to 3 minutes.
It doesn't bother me. I've been very interested in the conversation, and I'm really looking
Well,
forward to.
I want to learn from. I want to learn from you guys too. I'm not
Mhm.
speaking from an expert's perspective. This is just a bunch of learning experience for me as the guest. Even looking at both of your setups and getting ideas. And I love the standing shot with the TV in the background and the desk, and has very much a professional news feel. I love that. And Steven's stuff is off the chart.
Oh my gosh. Just I love doing studio tours of his basement, which we'll have to do on the live show soon. What do you think, Steven?
I'm totally down with that. We can do all that kind of stuff. But I think what he's doing here is really awesome. Like you said, your wife is doing voiceover. Maybe even give a voyeuristic view into that. What goes into voice artistry? Like you're not just sitting down in one take and recording it. I mean, there's good people that could do that, but they can't do it all the time. So I think that's even a series that you could do with a camera like that inside of your closet. That's an interesting way to make a sound booth.
I think it's
That's very
genius.
innovational. It
What's
is.
her info? We could use a voiceover artist around here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'll give you the info off the air and everything. And she has an amazing voice. She really does. And I'll give you an example. She went to Atlanta Voiceover Studio for her training when we lived up in Georgia. And then there was a coach who is basically a very well-known voice actor, and he does coaching. And I was very impressed with him because she did one session with him, and it lasted about a half hour to an hour. And then after that, he could have said, "Hey, you got to have at least 6 to 10 more. I sell this package, like the personal trainer thing. I sell this package that you got to stick with me for 3 months." But he was like, "You're amazing. You're really good, and let's just get one more session because I'm going to be really rough on you and I'm going to really nitpick you. But man, you have a lot of talent." That kind of guy, that kind of ethical type of teaching. Anybody who wants to get into voice acting and wants coaching, I'm going to send him to that guy because
Hmm.
he's going to give you exactly what you need. He's not going to try to fleece you or nickel and dime you or anything. And I hope that that's the kind of content that I provide for people to know that it's very honest and objective that way. But I was very impressed, and she's not because I'm married to her, but that's one reason. But she's really has a very natural, great voice, and used to do radio imaging when she lived in Ocala. So she does have experience with it.
I just have a couple more questions for you. One, really, before we dive into a giveaway and
Sure.
maybe some comments in the chat. The past 2 years, I have
I'm
Lindsay
sorry,
here with me.
I was going to say we're hogging up all the time on the show. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to have a
No,
conversation
we
with
wanted to bring
anyone
Lindsay
else.
over because she was like tucked
Yeah.
over there
Well,
and not like in the chat.
yeah,
So,
speaking of learning curves, my laptop died, and then the plug over there wasn't working.
is that what happened?
Yeah, so that's why I'm
Okay.
here. But also, I do just like being.
Being
Her
with me?
mic's off
Thank
too.
you. um, it's nice. Lindsay usually like shouts out comments from the chat and is a really good asset to us for that. But I was going to ask you about, was your mic off?
Tell what happened to Tess again. Say what happened.
Oh no! Okay, so what had happened
Now,
was.
now it's on.
Now
Now
it's
it's on.
on.
Oh, it
Okay.
wasn't. Okay.
Poor thing.
So what had happened was, my laptop died, and the plug over there is apparently also dead. So that's why I moved over here.
Okay,
But
good.
also, I just like being with Tess.
Oh, well, I like having you over here. I was just going to ask you, Stevie, the pandemic, the past 2 years, how has that affected your desire to go virtual or your work, really, in the past couple of years?
Well, it's probably been the biggest motivator for people to buy home gyms, garage gyms, any kind of gym space, because everything was shut down. I didn't want this level of visibility nor success this way, but the pandemic really did kind of put me on the map in the home slash garage gym category. The home fitness space. It was and if you couldn't afford I had a good tier of offerings. Obviously the information, my band programs are very, very affordable. And then people after that, or if they want to spend more money, go into the home gym space, or they don't have a lot of money, they buy the band program. So I kind of created a few different models, and those were created before the pandemic. They were doing okay. But
Mm-hmm.
once that happened and people, and I think we could just say maybe the one good thing about this whole deal with the pandemic and everything that happened was that people took their health, their fitness, and
Mm-hmm.
took the initiative for both in their own way and invested the money they needed to invest to have a fitness journey. Because once it was taken away, I think people took Planet Fitness and other gyms and chains and stuff like that for granted. And then when it was taken away, they're like, wow, I'm never going to let this happen again. So it's been an immense success. And I don't, the gravity of people taking the time and putting their money based on my opinion, it doesn't lose sight with me. Every single day I realize that I need to be as accurate and as um, credible as I can, putting the information out.
And have you seen a growth in a desire for virtual exercise or remote exercise programs over this time?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, let's look at the two things you saw in that YouTube short: the NordicTrack Vault, the Tempo, and then you have companies like Tonal, and then there's probably a few others out there. All subscription services of a minimum of $39 a month, which most people would be like, "Oh my God, $39 a month? That's a ripoff!" And you're already paying $2,000 to $5,000
Sure.
for the actual hardware. But now people aren't even blinking or like doing the little head shake to say, "What would you say?" Now it's like $39 is a good investment because now I know that $39 is going to be a lot better because my whole family can work out on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the virtual classes, like Brian Kest has his yoga, which was before the pandemic, but he's been immensely successful with his yoga classes that are streamed virtually online. I just try to get you guys in touch with each other. I don't think he has the setup that does his workouts justice. So maybe I'll have to contact him and get you guys in touch with each other and see what he's doing. But it's I think people are now open to it out of necessity. It was born out of necessity, but now I think people's mindsets have been completely rewired to
Right.
say this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's certainly a market that we're seeing approach us a lot more, a lot heavier in this past year or so that we're really excited to explore. So working with people such as yourself is really helpful for us to learn and explore the needs in that area.
Now let me ask you a question. I'm going to turn it around, and you can answer, or Lindsay can. What are the brands? What are some of the brands that you work with PTZ Optics? Like, because you just lumped Stevie Richards Fitness in with probably some major players. When you say people like me, I mean, look,
Well,
there's a door
fitness
behind me.
experts,
How
people who
fancy
are
am I?
offering fitness programs. For example, we're working with a dance studio out of LA. So it's a different area of exercise, but still, I just mean people in the fitness spectrum are looking into virtualizing their programs.
There's a comment
Well,
on Facebook.
if you're from, oh, I'm sorry. I was going to
No,
say,
you're
if you're
good.
from Philly, then you understand a self-deprecating humor. So you should
Yes.
understand that.
Yes.
I
We're
can't pump myself up too much. I have to knock myself down a little bit.
absolutely. I'm totally there with you. We have our friends at Epiphan in the chat right now, and they're one of the partners that we work heavily with for encoding and production solutions. So that would definitely be a recommendation from us. And there's a lot other, and I don't want to get myself in trouble with some of our partners by recommending some over others, but we'll definitely give you some recommendations in our further conversations about streaming and what would be the best solution for you. Have to give Epiphan some love because they showed up to our show today. I mean, much
Very
love.
nice. So is there any mean comments? Usually
No,
if
there's
it's
no.
wrestling, there's, wow, that's
I know.
that's a first.
Steven mentioned that to us and warned us. I was like, no, everybody's been super nice. We've got some comments. Oh, I see.
I'll tell you, the tech community, the fitness community, and the wrestling community. Like, if I don't know if I could suffer a 3-pound attack from those, all of them coming in, because they're all very opinionated.
They are,
and they're very passionate, which is really good. That's what makes our jobs easy.
and usually highly educated on the topic, which is challenging.
I think the worst part is we'll be talking about something that has to do with Apple or Microsoft, and they'll come in and be like, "Hey, Stevie, what was your favorite match that you had?" And you're like, like it just derails the whole conversation. So you just got to kind of work through it.
Those are questions too. Like, I don't know. I mean, I could say I loved them all or I hated them all or whatever. I don't know. Again, those are tough questions, just because, like, I don't know. I have to look at the person. And it's another thing too that's really good about fitness and wrestling taught me that is trying to read a room. And I'm not always right, but when I try to read a room or read the audience or who I'm catering to, that's another thing with live streaming, creating content is you may have to move a lot. I mean, I might this year, 2023. All three of us might be sitting here, 4 including Lindsay and Mike's in the background, and I might have a completely different model where I moved on from fitness to God knows what. You know what I mean? I don't even know, but that's the exciting thing. If you keep showing up, I know I'm not exactly where I want to be right now. I'm not totally content, because if I was, I wouldn't be addressing another category like live streaming on the show. So that's the beauty of it. We have no idea where PTZOptics, where Steven's retro buzz brand, or anything else that Steven's doing, or my fitness stuff is going to lead in the next year.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. Hey, Yuta in the chat, who just set up a client during the pandemic to do spinning classes via Zoom. And I wonder, Yuta, let us know, is that a new genre for you? I know you did a streaming as a service, and that's included over time, like weddings, sporting events, music events, things like that. But this push for virtualizing everything, like exercise classes, is definitely interesting.
I will give that person credit too, because there's a whole, doing what Brian Kest does, where he's teaching a class in person, but then he has tons of people out there. Or what I do especially is I can choose to put out a live or recorded piece of content, and then it's essentially me talking to myself. I might look at the chat or do what you guys are doing, but with personal training, whether you're doing it in person or over Zoom, is very taxing. And then when you talk about the technology part of it, the audio, which is with fitness, I will say that for anybody in fitness, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to downgrade PTZOptics or any video. Audio is even more important in video. I always make sure my audio is as good as I can make it. As a matter of fact, back here, I might put up some panels to dampen the reflection in that room, because it's good audio, but it's way too echoey. So I give people that teach in-person classes and group Zoom where you need to interact all the credit in the world, because
Absolutely.
You need to think about the class. You need to think about the technology. You have to watch the live stream. You need to make sure your internet's up. And then you have to make sure people are protected with modifications over Zoom. I mean, that's a lot to do.
Yeah, that's why we really commend teachers over these past couple of years dealing with all of this. Lane in the chat is wondering if there's anyone exploring hybrid fitness sessions where people who normally go to a fitness class can join remotely when they can't go to an in-person session, much like what you were just talking about, Stevie, with both.
That's the biggest model that I see, besides if you have a Tempo or Nordic Track Vault. They offer live classes. Obviously, none are in person. Brian Kest is out in LA, I believe, in California. He has a group class or many group classes, but then he offers them either live or on demand through a flat rate subscription plan per month. Other than that, Tony Horton had done some stuff. I think Beachbody is exploring a little bit of that. But once again, check your local studios, because like you just talked about a dance studio, Tess. If they have something in there, but they're also offering, like, say, an all-encompassing, I don't know, called Ultimate Pass or something like that, where you can come unlimited classes in person and get unlimited classes online, that'll be a great deal. And that's a good business model for a local fitness studio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the thing is, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
Because lockdowns are always looming. Restrictions are always looming these days in this modern era. And if you're a business, I would not count on, that to be something that just won't, with the snap of a finger, be instituted. So if you're offering that as a local business, now people are not going to unsubscribe. Now people aren't going to cancel their memberships because they can just go home and have the same trainers, the same classes, and all that stuff that they had in the in-person element.
That's so true. And I was just elaborating here on Yuta's comment about the spin class. He's seeing a huge market for even elderly who can't get out and about right now due to the pandemic, but they need to move. They can't go to the mall anymore and do, the walk around and things like that. So they're looking for online options.
Well, that's absolutely true. And I think those are the people that need health and fitness and wellness and guidance more than anybody, because they're the most vulnerable in a lot of ways, and they need the most amount of protection, but also the most amount of tools to build up their immune system. I'm going to tell you a fun little fact right now. We were at TJ Maxx a couple weeks ago, and I'm 5 years away from getting the 10% discount for 55 and older. So,
I would never have guessed. Never would have guessed.
It's just a ponytail. That's all it is. That's all.
What did you just pull up here, Michael? Did I miss a comment? Did you see that, Lindsay?
I helped a fitness studio that opened in December of 2019 migrate to a live stream platform due to the shutdown.
Wow, Honolulu. That's perfect.
Wow.
That's an amazing place to be able to do live streams on the beach or whatever. Very nice. She's already into it. Look at her.
Yeah. If you're in the chat and you're a streamer, or you do help set up other streams, or you're an AV reseller or something like that, let us know the applications in the chat. And I'm drawing.
Let me ask you this question: What do you guys recommend? Obviously, we live in a 5G era now. Obviously, I would tell anybody that you need to scout a location. Say, I want to go to the beach. If they have Wi-Fi there, that would be great because we're right by a pier and everything. But I'm not going to trust that. But test what kind of mobile signal, hotspot signal. If you got to switch carriers, if it's something you want to plan to do consistently, which I hope, if you're going to invest the kind of money to do it, you're going to be consistent. The worst thing in the world is that you have Spectrum Mobile, but you need Verizon to get on the beach and stream that stuff. So that would be like, what do you guys usually recommend for a minimum? I would say for streaming, 720p is acceptable these days. 1080p will probably be ideal, but obviously you're doubling your bandwidth, which if you don't have an unlimited plan, that would eat it up pretty quick. What do you think about that?
Yeah, for our mobile streams, we've had great success with LiveView's products. I don't know if you've heard of them yet, but you'll definitely come across them if you're looking for those mobile production solutions, the mobile hotspots.
There's a few too many zeros in their price, so
They have the Solo, which I think is in the $1,000 price range. Steven, you might have a little bit more educated input on that if you're still hanging around.
Yeah, I actually have the Solo in studio. So to answer your question about that, if you're got Spectrum and there's no Spectrum signal, that's what I like about the Live View. You could have Verizon or AT&T, and it bonds it all together. It gives you one uplink. Um, but I usually tell folks 4 megs on the upload for 720p, 8 on 1080p. If you're in an area where you're starving for bandwidth, you can get away with 2 megs for 720, 4 megs for 1080p. It really depends on how that signal's coming in and how it's looking. But I agree with Tess. I've had great success with Live View and using the Solo, even in my mobile rig where it's currently at. I output out of vmix SDI right into that box and send it out to the internet. We used it for graduations. We used it for many things. In fact, when you did your signing, we used the Live View to stream out.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. I do want to say while I'm thinking about it, just because I think it does need to be said, because everybody who's ever been in any business model, definitely if you work in technology and you have a technology channel and you're doing reviews and what's the term that would probably most simply put it is your eyes get too big for your stomach. You don't think about the income model or the business model or I got cool equipment and everything, but how am I going to make money? How am I going to get my return on it?
Right.
Do I need a simpler setup since I'm a one-man show? I think these are very important questions that it took me a long time to ask after I already invested a ton of money and said, I don't really need all this stuff. I only need this or that. I can set up something, or maybe, the live track wasn't around. These kind of tracking cameras weren't around. So how many cameras do I really need? Do I really need to go live, or can I just edit it and put it up on a schedule? Am I uploading too many times per week? I mean, these things will drive you nuts, but you really got to ask these questions. And I don't mean ask them once. You got to ask them. You got to maybe self-assess like every month or even every week as you're going along the journey and try to figure out where your comfort zone is financially, creatively, mental and emotional and physical energy you got to put into it, and then the content. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to think about.
It really is. It's a big consideration. And I just want to let everybody know I am picking giveaway winners in the chat. So please look at the Facebook and YouTube chat to see if your name pops up to have a chance to spin the wheel. We do a monthly giveaway, Stevie. So we're about to give away hopefully some free gear.
Nice. What are you guys giving away?
Well, we have like a spin the wheel. So there's all different things. And like the number one prize is a camera. And then there's smaller things like a webcam or then like a t-shirt or something like that. So
a free trip to Honolulu to take that guy's training class. How about that?
hey,
Please.
maybe he'd host us. Jim, would you host us? But thank you. Oh, speaking of Jim, who I know is in the chat, I just drew his name for the giveaway, which is perfect because I see he's right here. Tech in the City. That's Jim. Congratulations, Jim. Lindsay is going to spin the wheel for you. You want to get over there? And while we get that set up, Jim just commented, we rent Verizon and AT&T hotspots for remote streams. It really depends on the exact location. We also recommend the Speedify app for locations that need to enhance streaming bandwidth reliably. That one was for you, Stevie.
Thank you. It's like water.
Right. Let's see here.
But I would say that's a great app. I'm going to take a note on that because I definitely recommend that would be a good scouting app for anybody looking to live stream any content anywhere. I would definitely use that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Stevie. It's been such a pleasure to get to know you and to learn about your tech journey, your wrestling journey, and hopefully your live journey soon.
Yeah, I appreciate the time. It's definitely great to get together and collaborate and talk about, the technology stuff really excites me. And people in the chat, by the way, thank you, because the ideas you gave me, I never even knew about this Speedify app and these other ideas. And that's really what the whole community is supposed to be about. Like I said,
absolutely.
When Steven and I met and Steven and I grew a long time friendship, that was from social media and the internet and podcasting and hosting a YouTube show. And these things that people, I think right now they get caught up in all the drama and the negativity of it and toxicity. But really, there's a lot of good out there where people can come together and, lift each other up, and hopefully everybody can make money and be successful.
That's the idea. Thanks again, Stevie. We'll be
That's so not
definitely
a wrestling.
chatting soon.
That's not a wrestling promo where I said I'm going to destroy somebody or put them in the hospital. It's very much the opposite.
Yeah, you kind of seem like you might be the opposite character of what you might have seen during those days in real life. So it's nice to get to know you.
I was one of the most hated wrestlers in WWE at one time.
What?
So, yeah.
I can't believe that. You're such a nice guy.
Well, maybe they brought it out of me.
Steven's probably back there laughing.
Yeah, I was,
I knew it.
because I've heard the stories. So
Oh, you got a fan here. George from Epifan is just an old ECW fan.
Well, I'm an old ECW wrestler, so we have something in common.
I think that he's aware of that.
Yeah, that's a Philly brand. That's where I cut my teeth, and that's where people still remember. It's great to be able to create those memories. I lived like 10 minutes from the ECW arena in South Philly, which is really in Philly, believe me. It's not like Haverford or anything. It was in Philly. So
You really
I
know the
appreciate
town.
that, guys. Thank you, George.
All right, thanks
Yeah, it
again,
was
Stewie.
right under. Oh, sorry, the delay. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. We could go all day. I'm fine with that.
I'm okay. I'll stop talking. My wife says I talk too much, but I will give you her information after we get off this live stream.
And where can our audience find out more information about you?
Well, the main site is StevieRichardsFitness.com. We rebranded it. We were from the resistance band programs, and now it's the home for your home gym. And we got our recommended brands up there. But the YouTube channel is really where all the interaction is. So just search Stevie Richards Fitness. You'll see that little blue avatar that's actually behind Tess right there on the TV.
Yep.
And subscribe. We're about to getting closer and closer to 80,000
Subscribe
subscribers.
today.
But there you go. But we appreciate everybody. I mean, some people might look at the views or even the subscriptions and say, oh, that's not as many as this or that or the other thing. But our audience is so just very interactive with everything. I couldn't ask for a better audience.
That's amazing. All right, thank you so much, Stevie. Over to you, Lindsay. Let's spin that wheel for Jim and call it a day over here.
Alrighty. You guys missed my lunge walk while I came over here.
Oh, no.
No, I was in the fitness zone. Okay. Anyways. Are you ready? Here we go.
Ooh, that was a good one. A book. You can choose, Jim, from a variation of one of Paul's books, and we will send that to you in beautiful Hawaii. Push-up competition? Stevie, you should have heard Lindsay before the show bragging about her push-ups.
I walked in and I said, if I could challenge him to a push-up competition.
How many do you think you could do?
If I get the tracking camera and I end up getting it set up, then we'll do the push-up competition live on this show.
There you go.
All right, well, that's enough of a reason to do a part 2.
what are we going to call it? Push-ups with Lindsay?
Yeah, push-ups with Lindsay.
Push-ups with Lynn.
First pro wrestler. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, PTZOptics and HoloCam HD Live.